What a good way to start off the podcast.
Well, I've started the recording now, just in case Rob says anything else ridiculous. YouTube viewers, I'm sorry you missed something wonderful.
Oh, you might be able to append the Twitch clip to the beginning of it.
Yeah, but that's so much work.
True.
It's not so much work. It's some.
It's already work to render these damn things. It's like
that's the biggest.
How long does it take?
It takes like 10 minutes for me to make sure the audio is synced all the way through, and then like a collective 4 hours to export and upload it, or so more. Shitty. Actually, it's more like an hour and a half to export it, and then usually it's like 3.5 to upload.
Yeah, the upload's the part that I would think would take the longest.
My upload speed is not that good.
Yeah.
Is that the real Cajun fries in the chat right there?
It is.
Yeah, it is the real Cajun fries.
Hey, Cajun fries.
I see you at Edgeville all the time. I'm like, look at this nerd. He's got a great name.
He's also got a
I remember you're at Max Iron Man.
He's like ranked 4 Iron Man, I think.
Cream a little bit.
Yeah, he's pretty highly ranked.
He puts my main account to shame.
I remember there was a place in time where Cajun fries wasn't maxed.
Yeah.
That was a while back, though.
But
all right.
There was never a time when he wasn't delicious.
True. True.
Oh, word. Are you guys ready to get started today?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for Rob. He probably needs a fidget spinner or a vape or something. Calm him down. Rob, how do you feel now that like fidget spinners are basically in like the same kind of area as vaping?
I feel like it's really shitty.
Because I can't think of a fidget spinner without thinking of you, because you were the first fucking person I saw that had one. I was like, what the fuck is that?
I had it before it was a meme, man.
My roommate has one now.
And now it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like now everyone and their mother fucking has one, and they're fucking all using them ironically.
I saw like one of those Twitter like shitty copy pasta things. Somebody was like, if my girl and my spinner were drowning, one of those, and he's like, you just catch me at the funeral with my spinner because it's spin to win or something like that. Like, wow.
What Scorch said in the chat sounds like an innuendo. It's just very bad.
Oh, God. Yeah, I like my sister's fidget spinner. Can we just remove the word fidget spinner from the vocabulary? Just never speak of it ever again.
I really like them though, but like I can't take one out in public now.
I'm the one who's fucked up, Scorch. You're the one who said it, sicko.
You're the one who interpreted it that way.
It's not
That's
my
the way
sister.
language works, don't you know? All right. Welcome to RFD podcast number 13. I'm pretty sure that's the number.
I think so.
I'm just guessing at this point. But yeah, welcome guys. What's up? I'm Strix.
Tripwire.
These two guys, they're not important.
Fidget spinner, snapback man.
Fuck you. I am the most important person here. I am the creme de la creme.
I didn't even say anything bad about you. I just spoke about 2 things that you have.
Nigel did.
I did.
Oh, what did you say?
He said we don't matter, Chase.
Oh, I don't care what he thinks.
Spoken like a true Max player.
Nigel, are you Max? Your opinion doesn't matter if no.
That's basically, well, I mean, all you have to do is like look on Twitter or whatever, and like Max players all the time are like, yeah, I bet he has like 1,500 total. It's like, who fucking cares if he has 1,500 total? He gets a vote just like you do. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know? Max players are a little like, it used to be just like a joke. Of course, some players felt that way, but I almost feel like the dominating attitude now amongst like highly ranked players or highly efficient players is literally like, if you're not playing efficiently or you're not max or whatever, like you don't get a say on the direction of this game. Like, it's such a shitty attitude.
I have a handful of max friends, and they're all pretty nice, but I think it's just because I don't surround myself with assholes usually, if I can help it.
Yeah, I mean, of course we can't say for everyone, but like this is the dominating attitude I see amongst players, like, you know, interacting with the community and with the J mods and stuff like that. Of course, not everyone's gonna be like that. Of course, I know people who are max that are great, wonderful people, but I mean, I think the worst part of it is like, in some sense of the word, the max players are right. Some players don't fucking know what they're talking about, and they really should just sit down and shut up. But you can't do that on the basis of somebody's total level. You should do that on the basis of like if they say some dumb shit,
Yeah, base it on their opinion or their question.
Exactly.
Like, for example, a great example is the guy on Reddit who wanted to take all the God blessings and interwork them with prayers to make them do different things. So, like, if you had like the Sarah God blessing on, like in your arrow slot, for example, your protect item would now protect 2 items instead of 1.
Because that's not ridiculous.
No, that's not broken at all. I love being able to take 5 items anywhere I want and never risk them.
Yeah.
It only changes everything drastically.
Well, one of those items that actually, I mean, it's kind of interesting in the sense that one of the items you would almost certainly risk every time is the blessing, because blessings are worth like nothing. So you would always lose the blessing in that case. We're talking about like PvP. It's interesting, but still really overpowered.
So it's like a clue box for an extra item.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's overpowered.
Yeah.
Maybe if the game that we were talking about wasn't RuneScape, it would be fine. I feel like there's so many suggestions people make from like other MMOs that would make sense in the context of another game, and then you apply it to RuneScape, and it's just like, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like that sounds to me like something. If I were playing like Guild Wars or World of Warcraft or like some other game, right? And somebody suggested something, I'd be like, yeah, sure. It's because the levels of like what you can do are just totally different. Like an RS, an effect like that is unreasonably powerful, because like some of the best things you can do in this game is like Dragon Warhammer special attack. It's like probably one of like the most powerful things in the game, at least in terms of PVM context. In terms of like PvP, HS spec or Diva spec or whatever, like the levels of power difference between like what you can do in this game and other games is really, yeah, it's worlds apart. Like RuneScape is just so different.
Speaking of which, what are you guys doing in game today?
Woodcutting teaks, which I think I've been doing every single week for this podcast.
I am not logged in.
That's actually your typical response these days, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Rob likes to focus on the podcast.
And who would like to take a guess at what I'm doing?
Agility Pyramid.
Yeah, that's it.
I was actually gonna say Slayer, because you've been doing Catacombs the last few times.
Well, yeah, that's just because Skatizo was coming up. Now
Finn is like begging for people to come raid with him. You guys think I should raid while on the podcast?
Yes.
No.
It would make it more interesting. Well, then at least Nigel would like sync to our level, where every so often he'll be like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention at all," because we do that, but he never does
he
that.
has to lead it. We don't know what the questions are.
Yeah, I know. Down. That's why it'll be even funnier. You wanted a casual podcast? Lost. Yeah, it'd be very casual. No form at all.
This would be the most casual podcast ever.
Nigel would be like, okay, which one of you guys which one of you assholes wants to host this week? I'm not
It's
doing it.
It's not even a podcast. We would take away like all the RFD stuff and all like the Skype stuff, and we would literally just have Discord open. You guys would just stare at like Discord and us like talking in Discord. That's how casual it would be. Oh, maximum casual. No, I won't go raid with you guys. Although I do want to. Raiding sounds really fun right now. But duty calls, as they say.
I'm sorry. I'm so immature today.
Speaking of duty, we got an update. It's a really small. The last couple updates have been really small. I feel like they're spending a lot of time working on and testing the world map, so we're not really like getting big updates.
Sorry, Nigel. Lucas just put my favorite copy pasta in your chat.
Yes. Let me introduce you to Shark P. She's kinky in a way,
I love how it's got at the end. Like I'm supposed to understand what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I'm saying, right? She's kind of kinky.
I know exactly what he was saying there.
It's just it's so funny.
It's like the Butters. Do you know what I am
anyway,
saying?
Lucas wasn't the one who started this meme, but he's the one who adapted it and has held on to it and keeps it alive.
It's a good meme.
It's funny.
I honestly think like Shapurka and Match, I think are like two of the top RuneScape girls right now. I would say it used to be Dollar Cookie, but like I just
she's not really around
heard
anymore.
Anything about Dollar Cookie.
She doesn't stream as much anymore, I don't think.
No, I think she's busy with real life shit. No, she still streams. I see her.
She does, but not as often as she used to.
Yeah, not as often. Maybe she's on that level with me, like stream twice a week.
Maybe she got offended because Alistar keeps calling her Garlic Cookie.
Probably.
which just sounds disgusting.
It does sound
It's not a cookie that I want.
What about Kath? Oh yeah, of course Kath. But like she streams when I'm at work, so I never see her.
Yeah, that's true.
She streams in the middle of the night. Kath's great though. She's way too lucky for her own good though.
Yeah.
One KC Drag Warhammer.
Bloodhound.
Bloodhound alone probably puts her in like the top tier of Iron Man working towards all pets, which is ridiculous, right?
It probably puts her in the top tier.
Probably about it. It does.
It puts her in the top tier of any account type working towards all pets. She's like, she just jumped like 2K hours ahead.
Yeah. It's just, isn't it fucked up that like that's how pet hunting works? That
Did
it's
you guys
like
see the list though?
Or all the other pets?
Because Mod Lottie she's releasing stats about pets, which is really interesting, and it showed how many of each pet is in the game total. Bloodhound has been in the game for almost a year, and there are 305 in the game.
Yeah, that's wow.
That's how you know you fucked up. It's the least common pet in the game, and it's been in the game for almost a year. And I just don't understand why they thought it's okay to keep it that way.
The fact that even Penance Queen is more common.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Penance Queen's been in the game longer, but I would say like Penance Queen is kind of more disgusting to get.
And Barbarian Assault is a lot less appealing than doing clues. That too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you can solo clues, right? Like you can just keep doing clues on your own. You don't have to rely on other people. So I would say you get more effective hours of working on Bloodhound than you get on Penance Queen. And more people you have to get a fucking team of 5 people together that want to do it, which is not the easiest thing in the world for BA.
Have you seen the screenshots that Alistar has been showing in the Discord? Like since he got the Penance pet, he just shows everywhere he goes. People are just like, "What the fuck is that thing?" And he's always like, "Yeah, it's potato." Like, dude, the thing is ugly. He's like, "Yep, I know."
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think Jagex totally fucked up on Bloodhound.
The fact that they're not willing to go back and fix it just because it's been a while doesn't make sense, because they've done it for other stuff.
Yeah. I think if they would just admit that like the drop rate's like ridiculous in terms of the amount of
the Bloodhound is like the only pet that puts me off of the pet hunt, which is my main goal right now. It's all I work on is pet hunting, and I really enjoy it. And even the idea of having to raid, I don't really enjoy raids that much, but that sounds way more tolerable than going dry for the Bloodhound, because that's going to take me like a year alone.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about the going dry for Bloodhound too is like if you're like anyone that's semi-sane, you're probably gonna buy Dragon Implings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose a completely ridiculous amount of money on it.
Mm-hmm.
That much is 100% certain. You're gonna get washed on trying to get it. I mean, Casey has like over 1,000 master.
I think he's up to like 1,200, isn't he? Something stupid like that.
Yeah, he still doesn't have it. Like Jesus, can you imagine like getting Storged on a Bloodhound? Like you would probably quit the game before you ever got anywhere near that point. Like that's how long we're talking in terms.
There was a guy who recently decided to quit going for the Penance Queen pet after 2,300 gambles.
Oh God!
And like I can understand being burnt, but like actually giving up, like if you're in that deep, I'd say you have to keep going and finish it off, because it's just you're not getting back.
I disagree.
I mean, you don't have to, but that's what I would do.
I mean, you get to a certain point where you just kind of like resent the game, like you just don't want to log in.
Right? I'd say, well, he's saying I'm done forever. I think he should be saying I'm taking a break, because otherwise that's just time he wasted. He'll never like if he
Isn't
never
that what
it
always is though?
Yeah, I mean, it's always
you quit to quit, but you eventually come back.
I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes some people really do quit for good. They just say like, "I'm done with this shit," and they move on to something else.
Yeah, I did that for like 10 years, and now I'm here.
And we
I don't know.
are glad to have you.
I feel like if you stopped playing 10 years ago, back in like actual pre-EOC and all that stuff, this is a different game. You're playing a different game. You didn't come back to RuneScape. You had to start a fresh account.
It's a better game.
It is, in my opinion, yeah, it's a better game. I don't know. I almost feel like unless the game like didn't really get any updates or whatever, or it's like the same game, then you didn't really come back. It's a different game, in my eyes.
That's true.
Like I can see that.
But old school's still RuneScape enough to, I think, have it not be inaccurate to say I started playing RuneScape again because it's still like the same enough. Like if you were to say after 10 years I came back and I play RS3, I'd be like, yeah, you didn't come back to RuneScape.
You didn't come back.
You play a different MMO entirely. But old school, I can see.
Yeah, I mean,
that
old school's
being
close.
accurate.
I don't know. I just feel like 10 years is like a really long amount of time. It's like, if you didn't come back to the same account, did you really come back? You know, that's the way I look at it.
I came back to the same account.
Yeah, but it was like you had to start fresh, level 3.
True.
But what about other MMOs though? Because like World of Warcraft, for example, you don't always have like
Yeah,
the
it's a
same
lot of different
characters. You could
characters.
reroll a different server or whatever. And the game changes massively with each expansion.
I think it's
But-
just splitting hairs at that point. I think it's true to
Yeah.
say that you came back to RuneScape, even though it's a new server state.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Like, I think it could be argued either way. You could say you came back or whatever, and I think people would agree.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it's
Both
just like
sides.
coming back to it leaves like this implication in my mind, like, oh yeah, I came back to finish what I started or do what I was doing, or you know, it has like this implication of like you came back to something. It's like, well, that something's not there anymore. This is something totally different, you know. That's the way I kind of see it. Like you said, splitting hairs. Anyways,
I came back to kick ass and make gains.
that's right. The only thing
You're
that came back
all
to
out
was
of
the
ass.
gains.
I'm all out of ass, but I made some fucking sick gains.
Speaking of gains, do we want to talk about RuneScape update?
Yeah.
No.
The
Okay.
RuneScape gains?
Never mind.
Okay. Right. So this week's update's like pretty minor. We got runecrafting updates. So we got double deaths and double law runes, which is pretty cool. I think that's a pretty big overhaul for people doing RC for money. I don't know what the money is right now for double deaths. Does anyone here know?
No idea.
Yeah, Rob's clacking away. He'll figure it out.
You know what? What I did hear though is that Rig is planning on finishing off 200 mil Slayer, and that's going to take quite a while. But then after that, he's going to finish off 200 mil runecrafting, doing double deaths the whole way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's going to make, by his estimation, $6 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Scorch has 1.5 million an hour. That's not bad. That is not bad at all.
No.
That's like old double nats is what that used to be.
Yeah.
All right. So we've also got shift click to empty your rune patches. So you can left click to empty rune patches, which is awesome for stuff like ZMI, because this makes ZMI like way more doable if you want to use 4 pouches. Because before, doing ZMI with like multiple patches was really shit and it was very slow. And you would actually lose quite a bit of XP doing it. But now it's probably viable to actually just use multiple patches.
It's really exciting to me actually, because I recently bought 150k pure S so that I can hunt for the Rift Guardian by doing mind runes, because it's really fast if you have the Arceus spellbook, and that's going to make it even faster, or even easier.
It's just like less ridiculous. Because I think the biggest usage of like AHK and stuff like that was on the really slow skills, like runecrafting, because like every tick counts because the XP is so low. So people would like really heavily AHK to like empty all their pouches and withdraw on bank and stuff like that. This just makes it a little less ridiculous, you know. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep.
I'm glad they're using shift click for more stuff. All right. Also, there's an imbued skull scepter, because apparently this is a thing that the game needed. For like all 3 people who use the skull. Okay, so you know what the skull scepter does, right? It teleports you to
Stronghold of Security.
Yeah, it teleports you to Stronghold of Security.
Yeah.
Well, the imbued skull scepter, after you've completed the Stronghold of Security and you got the boots and everything, you can show the boots to like some NPC. He'll imbue the scepter, so the scepter no longer is destroyed when you've used all the charges and everything, and you can charge it with other scepter pieces.
Oh.
So I think this is really nice for F2P. That's what comes to mind.
I was gonna say, what would you ever use that for?
Well, because for F2P, the Stronghold of Security is like one of like the premier training spots in the game.
Right, true. That's true.
Yeah. So it's like F2P end game, basically. Well, other than like Greater Demons and Crandor and stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
That's the only people I can think it's useful for, because I can't think of a use for it off the top of my head for like FTP or PDP players, rather.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe clues. There's some clues in the Barb Village.
I only
I
do
think
Master
people
Clues.
just
I can't remember any.
yeah, people just teleport to Edgeville and like run north or
Yeah.
south rather. Yeah, I don't know. Sure, it's great. Thanks, Jagex.
Yay.
Also, here's a good one. One that I'm really excited about: the Rogue's outfit. They buffed it so that you only get the outfit in order. You can no longer just randomly get pieces you already have. No more duplicates. So this is like the last skilling outfit in the game that kind of worked this way, and I think it's awesome that they fixed it because it was just ridiculous. Like it was such a variable piece of content. You could go there with like 80 thieving, 80 agility. It could take you anywhere between like 45 minutes and like 3 hours to get the whole set, which is a really wide range for something that's a skilling outfit. Frustrating is what it is. So I'm really glad that they made this change. Have both of you guys have this outfit already, right?
Yeah, it took me about an hour and a half, I think. But I mean, like, you say that it could take up to 3 hours. That sounds just wonderful compared to how long it took me to get the fucking Angler outfit. It took me 20 hours there to get the Angler outfit.
Well, that has to do with the drop rate, though.
Yeah.
Like, that one's like, yeah. Whereas the drop rate of getting a piece of the Rogue's outfit is 1 in 3. And, like, you can complete games quickly. The Angler outfit's just shit for the reason that Trawler takes 12 minutes, and it's like a 1 in, what is it, 1 in 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. So Angler, no matter what you do, Angler takes a while.
I got fucked on Angler.
And imagine if you could get duplicate pieces of Angler, though. Like, that would just be awful.
Yeah.
It'd be horrendous. Rob, did you already get the Rogue's outfit on your account?
No, I've been waiting for this update.
All right, well, yeah, you're going to benefit massively. I've gotten it on 2 accounts at this point. My Hardcore Iron Man and my regular Iron Man. Hardcore Iron Man, I had shit stats, and I got it in like 30 minutes. On my normal account, on my normal Iron Man, I had like high stats, so I could use the best shortcut. It took me, I swear to God, it took me like 2 hours. Absolutely ridiculous. But
you got a shitload of rogues kits, so you got that going for you.
I don't have the bank space for them. I got rid of them.
Waste.
Yeah, terrible. Rick says, "Where was my invite?" Sorry, podcast is kind of like delayed a little bit today because I've been working.
Just today, though.
Like 4.
Never, no other times has it been delayed.
No, well, I mean, we actually postponed it an hour this time.
Well, we also postponed it an entire week last week.
Yes, because I was also sleeping.
Yeah, Nigel's work schedule is he's been adjusting, you could say. So we've been having a hard time even getting the 3 of us together.
Well, I mean, it's hard to adjust when you're 4 days on, 3 days off.
Yeah.
And like those 3 days off, you want to do stuff during the daytime.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
But
I work nights for people who aren't aware.
Yeah.
So I go to work at 11 p.m. and I don't leave work till 7 in the morning. So also, I apologize for the drop frames. We're experiencing issues with Twitch right now. This isn't related to any of us, or it's not anything I'm doing on the stream. This is just Twitch. So if frames are dropping, I apologize. What work am I doing? I currently work front desk at a hotel. So front desk management is the position name.
Anyway, we would love to have you on again, of course, Rig, at some point.
Yes.
We'd also like to have some other guests on, too. I need to reach out to Skidler again and see when the fuck he'd be available. But he said he would. Also, this week was a bit light on content to talk about, like you said.
Yeah, there just really isn't much to talk about this week. In fact, most of the bulk of our podcast is going to come from the Q&A questions.
Yep.
I would like to at some point have Cloud Badass on. I think he's expressed
that'd be
interest. Good. So I think that would be sweet to have him on.
I'd like to have him on.
Yeah. All right. So besides the Rogue's outfit, we've got something exciting to talk about. The summer special. For membership, you can get 3 months of membership for the price of 2 months of membership, which is a pretty fucking good deal. They run this every summer that I've known of. So if you haven't already picked up your 3 months for 2 months, do it. Because you're getting a free month of membership, so why not? Do it. Oh, you guys, have you seen that, like the prequel meme where it's like all the years of like Jedi training in code, one guy saying do it? Oh, it's like, oh, Anakin. Right. So also they did a behind the scenes where they talked about the artist map that they're making. So basically it's going to be, they talk about some of the features. It floats on top of your interface. You can go full screen. It snaps to the sides of your window.
And is
if you want to like move there. Yeah, it is resizable, so you can resize the map. This is basically everything I like about Conduit's map. And one of the main reasons I like Conduit's map is because you can like resize all the interfaces and everything. It just looks incredibly similar to Conduit's map as well. Other than like they've got here's a really cool part. They've got a search function at the bottom. And you can like search and filter like different icons. So like say you don't want to look at any of the hunter spots or anything like that, you can just filter off the hunter icons and stuff like that.
That's sick.
It's really awesome. Like you could filter by transportation, you can filter by quests. It's just really cool. So I think they expect to get it soon, and once that's done, they said they would like to start working on pest control, updating pest control. So I think this is their big project right now. And this is why we haven't really got a lot of other updates. Like it's all been really small stuff.
Yep.
But I think the map is worth it. The map looks super awesome. I'm really excited. What are you doing, Rob?
What?
Are you just basking in the glory of the RS map?
I'm fucking tired, man. I'm just kind of. We're good. What's up?
Get a Red Bull like me.
We were just talking about the map. That's all.
Please.
I know. I'm
sponsored by Red Bull,
listening,
please.
Man. The map, man.
I thought we were sponsored by AHK.
It's a map.
Well, we got an email from AHK.
We sure did.
Totally legit one too. It wasn't a troll at all.
Definitely, totally legit. They wanted to sponsor us. It was great. All right. Players of the Maxscape can now right-click to quick tele to POH.
Suck it,
Cool.
Rob and Nigel.
Yeah, no Maxscape for us. Feels bad, man.
Maybe someday.
Kandaren headgear and Bruma Kandaren headgear and Bruma torches can no longer be dropped in dark areas if they are your only light source. I don't know why you'd want to do that if it was your only light source.
Why,
sure.
Why are people doing that?
Sometimes I feel like people in this game do stuff just because they're like, "Hey, Jagex," you know, like, "Hey, Jagex, notice me. You guys messed up."
Yeah.
All right.
Probably.
They also some bank chests were added to Xanaris because I guess some people complained about the fact that you can't actually click the bank chests. They're like chests, not bank chests. I don't know. This only came up when I was like low level Iron Man, and I was doing a lot of catching a lot of implings, which is something you do on Iron Man. That's the only time this has ever come up.
When I was playing on my Iron Man, even when I was hanging out in Xanaris doing otherworldly being tasks, I never once thought that the bank chests were a problem there. I never had a problem using them.
I've never thought it.
Well, it's like most other banks of that type, you could just click the bank, like the actual chest, and it's a bank chest, and you just use the bank. Also, the bankers there are not left click.
True.
You have to right click bank. I don't know, it's just quality of life.
Yeah, I guess so.
I appreciate that there's a way to just left click and quickly bank as an Xanaris now, even if I'm not going to use it. Well, I might use it on my hardcore. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm not going to use it, but I think it's just like a nice little quality of life change. This is the kind of thing like players normally you're like, yeah, this is good. It doesn't make a big impact on the game, but it just makes the game a little nicer.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty much all the updates. Like we said, there's really not a lot to talk about in terms of like, actual changes this week. So we're just going to go on to the Q&A questions. For this portion of the podcast, we basically take questions from the Q&A that Jagex runs. And we took them for the last 2 weeks Q&A because we didn't run a podcast last week. So this is the last 2 weeks of Q&A. We take the questions, we hear what the JMods had to say, and then we give our input. So without further ado, first question is, several Q&As ago, you mentioned Pertinent. Are there any plans to make the Elf lands have more content for players to do in them? And Jagex says, down the line, yes. Currently, they have been working on the Inferno and Fossil Island. An update like this would take considerable time. They want it done right. So if the players have any ideas to share or suggest, the team will be glad to look at them.
Crystal Quiver! Crystal Quiver.
Just start a Reddit thread, Rob.
I should do that.
No,
I bet
you gotta
no
make
one
sure,
else has done that.
You gotta make sure it has like a flashy graphic, with like the black background, with the orange text, with like the item in the inventory like pointing towards it. Like, you gotta do it right. Reddit won't upvote it unless it's a very simple to digest image. It's just how it works.
People can't be fucked.
These are the rules. Readings for chumps.
That's why I don't do quests. Can't be bothered with all this dialogue.
Fuck quests. Yeah, they want to add it behind like a diary requirement because they don't want another piece of actual content. You know, that's how I see when somebody's like, "Hey, can we have this?" But also, I just want it behind a diary. What that says to me is like, "Yeah, I've already done all the diaries. Can you just give this to me?" Is basically what it says to me when somebody says that.
That's a good
But
point.
I don't want to actually work for this. You know,
that works for me. It works for you too. You became an elite iron, didn't you?
I did. I am an elite iron with all the elite diaries. Yeah, we kind of veered off topic there, but Perf Dennis, you guys excited about potential Perf Dennis content?
No.
Sure.
Not at all.
I'm kind of just like,
I hate that area.
Sure.
No. I mean, like, well, I'm not gonna be mad if they do it.
If we get more content in Perf Dennis, we would probably have a much better way to access Perf Dennis. I think if Perf Dennis became like an important area in the game, we would get a way to like teleport to Perf Dennis.
That would be pretty cool.
Definitely.
That'd be good for master clues.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think it would actually be good because it would make that area of the game more accessible and more useful.
Right.
Because it is kind of like a cool area of the game that has a lot of lore. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's like 5 quests dedicated to that.
Okay, but so here's the thing, though. I am excited for the potential for a teleport to the Elven Forest for master clues. I don't actually want to be compelled to have to spend any more time there than that, though, which means I don't care for the extra content they'll add to it along with the teleport because I fucking hate the area still.
We'd probably get like some sort of skilling or new weapons or armor, or like some sort of shop there, or there would definitely be a quest. I think if they were to open up Perf Dennis, I think there would be another like Plagues quest.
I love quests. I hate the Elven Forest so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it because all that stuff sounds interesting to me, and like that's the reason I kind of play RS is like for the new content, like new quests, new areas.
Yeah, I mean I'll do it. I don't enjoy that area, so I wouldn't say I'm excited for those ideas.
Okay, what do you have against elves? I'm starting to think you're just like prejudiced against.
Their pointy ears are scary. Okay.
This is getting like real Witcher 3.
Don't say that. Rob's gonna go play Gwent.
Dude, I want to. I'm so excited for next week when open beta.
Is that when it
out.
happens? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
I haven't played it in like 4 days.
They're changing the game a lot.
Really?
And I'm very excited for it, yeah.
In good ways?
Is it actually going to be like more combat oriented?
Fine, combat oriented.
I don't know. Like more like Hearthstone or Magic where there's actual combat.
I mean, you have actual combat in the game.
There's combat, it's just it works differently.
Yeah, it
depends entirely on the deck you built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
Yeah, like there's some stuff about Gwent I find really interesting. It's just yeah, like every other card game I play, there's like a phase of combat where like you can just do combat. But yeah, Gwent's different in that way where like cards just have effects. So it's pretty much just like, hey, this card does this thing. Yeah, I don't know. There's like it's like a different level of interaction. I don't know. Gwent's interesting though. It's a cool game. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Anyways, let's talk about the next Q&A question. Somebody's asking, can Mod Ghost do a preview of the gargoyle boss he's been working on? So apparently Mod Ghost has been working on a gargoyle boss. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Yeah. I just knew it was an idea.
I guess it was awesome. On his...
Oh, come on, dude.
No need
Yay, I love when my ISP is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which is always...
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
All right, yeah. So what we just said is we were talking about the gargoyle boss. And basically, I just wanted your guys' thoughts. Like, what do you think? Jagex is actually working on a gargoyle boss. What do you think about that?
Sounds pretty badass. I loved that idea from the moment I read about it, actually.
Yeah, we've talked about this like a few times. This always kind of seems to creep up.
I like that.
I just think it's cool. Hopefully, it's at the top of the Slayer Tower. You know,
it better be.
It would be really bizarre if it was anywhere else.
Missed opportunity, and also poorly designed content if it's anywhere else.
They're gonna put it in the basement.
Panic buy bludgeons. Let me just chuck 40 mil per item. I'll buy a bunch of them.
How do we feel about the fact that there is a basement Slayer dungeon, like in the Slayer Tower?
The chains and whips excite you.
The tower has a basement.
I don't know. There are fucking giant hands crawling around on the floor, and you're questioning whether there's a basement or not. I don't know. It's all fucking weird already. You just casually walk by hands in that place.
You know what's really funny? Like if we extrapolate the idea of like the playable character actually having some like agency in the game, like your character actually is aware of the world around him. He's just like walking through the Slayer Tower one day and he's like, "Holy shit! There's a ladder here. I never noticed. There's a whole fucking another floor." Like I've been climbing up these fucking chains the whole time. He probably feels like an idiot.
Ha!
Also, like,
jokes on you, Lucas. I can't have basements in Florida.
Oh yeah, flooding.
The water table's too high.
I think my character would be like, dude, did those fucking statues outside the door there just move? You guys see
There's
that
all
shit?
sorts of stuff in RuneScape that would just be bizarre. Like you're gonna like go like kill a blood val and you're like, oh wait, I don't have a Slayer task, I can't.
Something is compelling me to not kill this monster.
You're like, I have some weird compulsion to not beat the shit out of this thing that's attacking me right now. You know?
Yeah.
There's so many things in this game would just be odd.
I think I feel like being a pacifist today.
You're like holding your axe in like front of the tree and you're like trying to chop it, like, no, this is never gonna work. You're at the wood cutting level. You're like, I've cut lots of trees in my life, but I just can't wrap my head around.
Or like
this
if you own a whip, like you own this weapon, but you just like, nah, can't pick that up. Can't take that out of the bank. I'd like to, but I can't hold that.
Okay, that brings up another question. Can you imagine like, okay, 28 sharks. Imagine where the fuck you would put 28 sharks.
In your pockets.
Imagine the fact that you can eat a whole shark in a matter of a few seconds, right?
You
can feed your kitten sharks.
Your kitten's a beast. Eventually, your kitten is going to come back from West Arty and take its revenge on you. It is going to be huge.
Huge.
The weirdest thing I have ever seen happen in Florida.
Oh boy.
I was in Orlando. I don't remember. I go to Orlando a lot for like theme parks and shit. I don't remember where we were going, but I remember very, very vividly. We were in a Taco Bell drive-thru, and
that's where all the good things happen.
Yeah, on the right side of the Taco Bell, like the right side of the drive-thru, like they had like a little retention pond. Basically, it was like super small, but it was like completely gated in. It was like the size of a Taco Bell, basically. And there was a fucking alligator in it, just chilling. And like we were a little concerned that it's just there. Like this is middle of the fucking like the main stretch of road in Orlando. This isn't like in the fucking the swamp or anything, dude. We're like right off the fucking highway. There's a Walmart across the street, some fucking hotels everywhere. Random alligator chilling. And we asked the drive-thru lady about it. And they're like, "Oh yeah, dude." They had some fucking pet name for him. They're like, "Yeah, dude, he's chill, man. We give him leftover meat all the time." They just throw him fucking tacos that don't get sold.
What?
Makes sense why he's still there then.
Yeah. And that's probably the weirdest thing I've seen happen in Florida.
You know, how have the locals like not reported that to like wildlife agencies or like the cops, you know?
I don't know.
Have you guys seen that comic about living in cold climates that's like, the air hurts my face. Why do I live where the air hurts my face? And that was like me every winter up at school because it's just like walking across campus. And like sometimes I wonder, why do people fucking live in Maine or like this far north? It's so cold here a lot of the time. But then I hear stories like that and I'm like, no, the real question is why do people live in fucking Florida?
You're like, at least here only the weather is trying to kill me. You're like, the weather is somewhat predictable.
I can put on a coat.
Yeah. What do you put on to protect against alligators?
Well, there's an alligator in the middle of my city. That's when I draw the line.
Oh, man. I like the, you know what I like? I like the ones that are like Australia. Everything here is trying to kill you. Like literally everything in Australia wants to kill you. Most of the continent's uninhabitable. You can't live there. It's all desert. Like, you know, I look at all the things in Australia. I'm like, I understand why they sent prisoners here.
I had a friend who told me that he really wanted to travel. When I asked where, he said Australia, and I was just like, why? Why do you want to go there?
You put on alligator skin boots to protect yourself from other alligators. That seems like bad advice.
It's to show your dominance.
Why don't we have that in RuneScape?
What, alligator skin?
I think there aren't alligators. There's only crocodiles in RuneScape.
Where are the fucking alligators, Shagax?
In Florida.
Petition
Why don't
for
we have
alligator.
crocodile skin? We have snake skin.
I want croc skin boots.
Yeah.
Like fly.
Look, flying
Watch
your
them,
07
watch them
graphics.
I want them to add it to like a master glue table or something.
Like the Anku outfit or the samurai outfit, you get the crocodile outfit.
The crocodile outfit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Metal Gear Solid 3. And you guys played the game? Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater? Okay. So like in that game it's kind of got like this like a jungle survival element to it. You can kill like a caiman crocodile and like use its head as a hat for
That's
camouflage.
awesome, dude.
So you're like wearing a crocodile head.
Okay, so this is a totally like stretch of a segue, and of course it's not related to RuneScape either. So we're not going back to RuneScape yet. But so the Destiny 2 reveal was this week. It looks fucking sick. And what reminded me of that was you said there was like this jungle, and you have to go to Io, which is a moon of Jupiter in Destiny 2, and they've got this sick looking like indigenous red vegetation, which is what reminded me because it's like a jungle, but it looks way cool. And I was actually just wanted to ask you guys, did you hear that the Destiny 2 PC port is not releasing with the console one?
When is it releasing?
They don't have a date. They just say it's going to be after. So it comes out on consoles first.
Oh.
What do you guys think of that?
That's shit.
I think
also, they were not releasing it on Steam. They're releasing it through Battle.net.
Yes, it's going to be through Battle.net. That one had me scratching my head.
What?
Yep, it's exclusively going to be through Battle.net. They've partnered with Blizzard. You can't get it on Steam or the Windows Store or anywhere else.
Well, I'm fucking glad you can't get it through the Windows Store. Let's be real.
But it's just like, why Battle.net? Like, I've never heard good things about that ever. And of course, like, Tim the Tatman was like, sweet. But it's because he's on Overwatch all day long anyway. He's already open.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the newest version of Battle.net. I think most of the problems we heard from Battle.net were the older versions of Battle.net. Back, like Diablo 2 World Warcraft 3 and stuff like that.
Also, isn't it region locked? Like, will you not be able to play with friends from other regions?
Yes.
You can't even add people to your friends list if they're from a different region.
Nope. So, you sure can't.
So fuck having international friends that you want to play Destiny 2 with. Yep. That's such a bullshit idea.
It makes me scratch my head. Of course, I'm probably still gonna buy it, but
I'm just gonna.
I am too.
I'm part of the problem in the sense that like I think these decisions are shitty, but I'm gonna buy it anyways because I like the.
I've already got it. I've already got it pre-ordered on Xbox One. Like I'm gonna be balls deep in that game by the time you guys get to touch it.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna like watch streams so I know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
So when I start up the game. Here's my thing. I hope they do a different balancing between the games because, like, if you look at Overwatch, the console version and the PC version of Overwatch have entirely different metas and entirely different gameplay.
Do they really?
Yeah. Yes, but like they get balanced with the same patches, which creates a lot of problems. Because like things that might be too good on PC get patched for console, and in console they were never a problem, so now they're just not viable or whatever. Things like that. That's why I hope the PC and console versions of Destiny get different balancing, because it would just be, I don't think there's going to be too much overlap between those two versions of the game, and as long as the balance doesn't go like really crazy off in left field, it would make sense for like some things to be better or worse on consoles than they are on PC, just for the simple reason of like playing a first-person shooter game on a console versus on a PC is like night and fucking day.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah, I don't dislike shooters on PC, but I've always preferred them on console, which is why I'm going to stick to that, I think. And also because a lot of my friends are probably going to be sticking to their console as well, which is, I want to have people to play with when it comes out. Yeah,
whereas I'm exactly the opposite. I really love Counter-Strike, and it's my favorite shooter game I've ever played. Don't give me that look. Can you tell me you didn't play?
What,
okay,
me?
Counter-Strike 1.6.
I was smiling. What do you mean?
I'm not talking about CS:GO skins bullshit. I'm talking like back in the day Counter-Strike.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And
hey, Counter-Strike's a fun game. Can't deny it.
Russian roulette's a fun game.
I think you may be thinking about the interactions you've had with people over Counter-Strike, which is a totally different story.
I never really played Counter-Strike games.
Like, huh, 5 teammates that can yell in my ear? This is cool. You meet some interesting people on Counter-Strike. People may be a strong word. I don't know. Trolls? Internet trolls? That's probably more accurate. Anyways,
RuneScape.
I think out of all the people that do console shooters, Bungie's the best. So high expectations for Destiny 2.
Oh yeah.
We're all on board on that train. Anyways, yeah, RuneScape.
Yeah, that.
Make all option for jewelry. They said if and when we do a make all poll, which apparently they want to do at some point. So, what do you think?
Sure. I don't make jewelry anymore, but yeah, I guess so.
I mean, a lot of like the crafting and skilling overall things are really the people that benefit are skillers and Ironmen.
And I guess I could see myself using it for making more Slayer rings, since I'm not really planning on buying an Eternal Slayer gem.
I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like, this may not necessarily benefit me, but I'm gonna vote yes to it because it's common sense.
Of course, I will too.
I mean, it doesn't. Well, yeah, I guess so little actually benefits you since you're maxed.
Yeah, but I still vote yes to it.
This is why max players think everything's a waste of time. They're like, yeah, I don't see how this update's any good.
I don't vote no because of that, though. I'm not a dick.
Yeah,
you're like the one person that doesn't.
Hey, I think Lee's a pretty cool guy. Cajun Fries, and other max people too.
But Cajun Fries is a max to Iron Man. He's like already superior.
He was born in the XP ways.
He's only superior because he's got a damn good username.
OP username.
What's the next question?
Yeah, I got nothing else to say on that topic.
Next question is Banos Godsword at 50% special attack. This has already been polled.
It's been polled before, yeah. Or was it polled? I think it was.
They pulled the lower it to 65. Because I think it used to be 75, right? Or maybe 100% spec. It used to be higher.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So they pulled the lower to 65. That passed. And then I think they pulled it again to lower it to 50. And that didn't pass.
No.
They talked about polling it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did it actually get pulled or like just straw?
I don't remember. Did it not?
I don't remember if it actually got pulled or not. I wanted to say it did.
I don't believe it was.
Yeah. All I know is like even
wrong.
just speculation of a 50% Banos Godsword spec sent the price of Banos Godsword skyrocketing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it got pulled or not.
Diadem says
it did get pulled and failed. Okay, Diadem says it did get pulled. So I am remembering correctly then. But yeah, anyways, this caused like a crazy amount of speculation. You know, BGSs were like 13, 14 mil for a couple days there. Yeah. So the only thing I can think about this is people bringing it up. But again, I guess it's time to make some more money off the Q&A. That's all I got to think. Because their response was, if the players want it, sure. You know, special attack was already lowered. They say currently they view the BGS as like a budget Dragon Warhammer. That's how they view it. So by buffing it, it's less of a budget Dragon Warhammer, you know. And in some ways, 50% Banos Godsword special attack, in some instances, would just be like a lot better than a Dragon Warhammer. Because certain bosses, you want the accuracy more. Like at Bandos, I would rather, or like Zami, the accuracy is really important. If it was 50% spec on the BGS, at those particular bosses, I might actually use the BGS over the Dragon Warhammer.
I probably would.
Because the accuracy matters a lot for those bosses. They have high defense levels. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on one hand, I'm all for the BGS being a little bit better. But on the other hand, we've already got a weapon that kind of like fills that niche really well. And I don't think we're gonna get anything better than that. That's the Dragon Warhammer. I don't know. They do the same thing, but in different ways. So I think there's space for the Bandos Godsword to be like on par in terms of special attack.
But like, doesn't Dragon Warhammer only reduce defense stat? Whereas BGS
Okay.
is attack and strength as well. It's just like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
combat stats.
So basically, how it works is, as we know, Dragon Warhammer, if you get a hit, it reduces a flat 30% of their remaining defense.
Yes.
So if their defense is already lowered, it does 30% of the lowered number. Whereas Bandos Godsword, the way it works is when you hit them, they get lowered for however much you hit. If they have no more remaining defense, it rolls over to their next stat, which is I think like the order is like defense, then like strength, then magic, and then like attack. So it's got like this order of combat skills that it will go through. So you can lower potentially all their combat stats with a BGS. It just takes forever, and the only instance where that would matter would be Corp. But yeah, so like the BGS is kind of unique in that sense. That's why sometimes people use BGS for like for pure fights. Because if you hit somebody with one defense with a BGS spec, it lowers their strength. So if they're melee based, you significantly impact their ability to deal damage to you if you get a good hit. Not to mention the BGS spec just hits really hard. All the Godsword specs have like increased accuracy, extra damage.
Yeah.
So like all the Godsword special attacks hit really hard. AGS, of course, being the best of the bunch. So Riley says defense, strength, attack, magic, prayer, range. So yeah, there you go. That's like the order that it will drain the stats in. So the BGS is kind of unique in what it does. I don't think anything else in the game works quite this way. It has like a variable lowering of their stats. So it makes it a really unique weapon for peers. And I think the PvP community might be against this sort of update. I can't speak for them because I don't PvP, but I think I can imagine some players wouldn't be excited about it. Of course, some mains think it would probably devalue the Dragon Warhammer. I don't know. Personally, I'm for it. I think the BGS is unique enough. Admittedly, it's one of my favorite weapons in the game. So of course, I would like to see it be better. But
still like that clip using the D Warhammer in your YouTube intro.
Yes.
Not the D Warhammer, the BGS. My bad.
Yeah, I smacked that goblin in the face in the BGS. It's definitely not me. It's definitely Chase's account, but
it was my account. But
yeah,
it's supposed to be Nigel.
Well, because I didn't have all that gear at the time.
Well, I've done that for pretty much everybody's intro. I think I've only had. I don't think I've ever had anybody send me clips. Maybe like one time, but every other time I've recorded it myself. Just easier. But yeah, that was fun.
I don't know. How much would you guys see the Dragon Warhammer lower in price? You think maybe if this update actually went through?
I don't know. It would still be pretty useful.
Yeah, because like no matter what you hit with it, it's a flat 30%.
Yeah.
Whereas with a BGS, I mean, you could smack it to 5s, and it's not going to come out to nearly as much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the likelihood of that happening is less because it depends on the stats of the boss. Basically, there's certain instances where you would want the BGS over the Dragon Warhammer.
Wrath is saying easy fix. Give it 50% spec, but make it not work in PvP. That's not a fix. That's an opposite. No. You're breaking it in PvP because it currently does work to lower somebody's stats in PvP.
It works very well in PvP.
You can only spec
People
once.
Use it a lot.
But that's not a fix. That means that it's not usable in PvP at all. That's breaking it for people who want to use it.
I'm trying to think of like how that would work though, because like if you're using it purely for like the strength lowering thing, like against peers. Well, you would need 75 attack to wield it anyway. So you'd have to be an attack pure. So, like, I guess, but like, I don't know.
I mean, like, there are AGS peers out there that use it basically as like a budget AGS because you're risking 3 mil instead of, like if you actually want to risk losing the Godsword on death.
I guess that's fair, yeah. Like over an AGS.
You could make it drain 65% when used in PvP.
I'm not even sure. Is that something that they can do?
I don't know.
I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can detect the type of combat that you're in necessarily. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think that's really viable either.
It's probably not. Like, it would be viable if PvP was limited to the wilderness. Because
they could change the function of, like... I think they could change the function of, like, how much damage it does or how much draining it does in PvP. I think that's definitely something they could do. Because they've shown that they're able to change how a weapon functions in PvP in terms of like damage and attack speed and that sort of thing. So they can do that. No, I'm not saying they can't detect combat. I just don't know if they can detect the type of combat you're in. like PvP versus non-PvP.
Yeah.
I think the game just is like combat is combat. But I don't know. I don't know what Jagex is capable of. I don't think it's.
Well, I mean, they have to be able to do that because blowpipe.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, no, I guess you're right. Because how else would blowpipe function properly?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they have to be able to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I guess it's not that hard, right? Because the game's gotta know what you're attacking, and monsters don't have player ID, so you just check if attacking something with player ID. Then, yeah, I guess no, yeah, definitely. It just took a moment to figure that out. So yeah, no, I guess I could do that. I just don't know if they have that function tied to the amount of special attack your weapon uses. You know, that might be the part that they're missing. Either way, I don't think that's going to be the hang up if they end up pulling this. No. I don't think that's what's going to be
no, it won't be.
I think
people are going to complain it devalues Dragon Warhammer and it's going to fail.
That's going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
I think the PvP, in general, I think PvP implications are such a small part of what actually gets things through polls. It's sad but that's the truth. So I mean, we can speculate on PvP, you know, what it's going to do to PvP, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's not what's going to get it through the poll. I don't know. I do see like this devaluing the Dragon Warhammer, but then again, I don't think the Dragon Warhammer should be the be all end all of PvP, you know, like PvE in this game. Personally,
I don't think it should either. It's the best spec weapon.
Yeah, period. There's a reason it's worth like 70 mil or like 60, whatever. It's worth a lot these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so in demand. And I think this would reduce the demand slightly. It would have its own application in other places like Zami, Bandos. Like certain bosses, the BGS would be the weapon to use there.
Yeah.
Just because it is more accurate than the Dragon Warhammer. It's not just budget Dragon Warhammer. It is a significantly different weapon in my eyes. Even if it usually serves the same function. All right. I think we can move on from that one. Right. Here's an interesting one. If you remove raw sharks from Zulrah, could you look at buffing sharks to catch at a higher rate at high levels? Currently, the difference between sharks caught between 76 and 99 fishing is around 21 sharks an hour. Yeah.
Disgusting.
So, like, getting 99 fishing doesn't make fishing sharks any faster at all, basically. They said they would look into this and see what needs to be changed. If anything needs to be changed. And then this week, this question was from last week. This week, somebody asked again, can you remove sharks from PV, just all PVM drop tables and buff fishing sharks? People are really hard on for this idea of we want to fish sharks for some fucking reason.
That's a bit too much.
Though.
Yeah, no.
We can't do that because like sharks, they have really no requirement to do. You just 76 fishing.
Yeah.
The reason it was added to Zulrah in the first place was because it was something that was heavily botted. If you want to fish for money, do dark crabs or fucking anglers. Anglers are like fucking 1,500 each. One angler is the price of 2 sharks right now.
Well, dark crabs are cheap, but you can catch a lot of dark crabs quickly. Is the thing.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you, Rob, which is like the only people I really see this benefiting is like a few players, but like 90% bots.
Yep.
Is who this benefits. There are some players that would, of course, benefit from this. There are a lot of players this would hurt.
It would inconvenience a shitload of Iron Man.
Yeah, like i.e. every Iron Man player. Yeah, we only make up 4% of the player base, but I would argue that it's a pretty dedicated 4% of the player base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see this being a good idea, but something tells me Jagex is going to do this. They've entertained this question twice on the Q&As, and this is a popular sentiment that's been around for a long time, that it makes no sense that Zulrah's drop table devalues so much of skilling. Whereas us sitting here, I think we kind of understand that like the things that Zulrah makes awful are things that are heavily botted.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Sharks
matter.
used to be ridiculously heavily botted. I don't know if you guys remember or if you played way back then, but sharks were like 1k each, and that was or less, and that was purely on the back of people botting the fuck out of sharks and Catherby.
Like if we're talking about like devaluing shit, why do people complain about Nightmare Zone and like all the supplies you can gather from that?
Actually, recently they've been saying, actually in the other direction, they've been saying, hey, can Iron Man get all that shit from Nightmare Zone now? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand that logic.
That would change everything.
Herbler would be a joke on Iron Man if they do that.
Yes.
And the J-Mods have actually entertained this idea.
I would love it, though.
I don't blame you. The idea of gathering secondaries just sounds horrible.
Well, basically, I guess the reason they didn't want to do it is because Nightmare Zone was so ridiculously easy with AFK Guffins, right?
Yeah.
Even though like Iron Man really didn't have access to that, because at that point in time, you needed to use a demon host, unless you quested in a very specific way.
True.
So, like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I never really thought about the fact that Iron Man are
that.
limited because they wouldn't be able to pay a host or get into somebody else's
Iron Man
stream.
couldn't use host or whatever. But the reason they didn't do it for Iron Man is because they viewed it as too easy to get all those, secondaries and everything like that. Because I mean, like you can get like blue ground blue dragon scales. You can get like snake
red
grass
spider eggs
from there. Red spider eggs.
Grass.
Yeah.
You can get
not to
buckets
mention
of sand, seaweed,
herb boxes. You can get herb boxes
herb
there.
boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Like it just makes so many of these gathering things like absolutely ridiculously easy on Iron Man.
Yeah.
So I really hope Jagex doesn't decide something they want to do. But I don't know. This idea of like, let's take away all the easily botted content from Zulrah and let players do it. Like, really, this just moves. I think the players who suggest this have good intentions, but I don't think they understand that all this does is move the economy more in favor of the bots.
Yeah.
Because currently, I would say the economy heavily favors the players and activities only like players can really do, right? So, I mean, not all the stuff is like only players can do this. Also, I think we're about to get kicked from Twitch.
Yep.
Because I've stopped sending data to Twitch.
However, Kieran did say that if they do it, they will replace it with something else. What do you think that something else would be? What is something we have right now that is commonly botted that could be swapped out for sharks?
Chinchampas.
That would
Can you
be
imagine?
That would make no fucking sense.
amazing.
Can you imagine killing Zulrah and getting like 50 red Chinchampas?
Okay, so here's my problem. You speculate that because they've entertained this idea on multiple Q&As, they might actually do it. They might actually nerf Zulrah's drop table. If that happens, I am going to do something I've never done before. Go to Falador World 66 and riot. Because that's fucking retarded bullshit that they will not nerf the drop rate of the Bloodhound, which has been in the game for a year. So, oh, no, that's the way it is. But Zulrah's been in the game for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to nerf the drop rate of the Bloodhound, but they are willing to nerf Zulrah's drop table after all this time, fuck Jagex.
I would say that at this point, like Zulrah's drop table is like an important backbone of RS's current economy. And any changes to Zulrah's drop table have to be considered carefully in the sense that so many players have built their accounts, built their wealth. The economy is like at this point, like pretty much based on Zulrah's drop table, I would say. Because there's like certain materials and certain scaling methods and stuff like that are totally hinge on the fact that like pure essence is stupidly cheap because of Zulrah and like all these other things, right? There's so much stuff that depends on Zulrah's drop table. If we just start taking an axe to Zulrah's drop table, like things are gonna get weird, right? No matter how well players intention things to be, Jagex made these drop tables the way they are for a reason, and that's to combat bots. Even if players don't think that's the right way to do it.
If Reddit wants it.
I don't know. I mean, like clearly Jagex made the decision to make this drop table the way it is, right? And I mean, the first iteration of Zulrah's drop table, I'm not saying Jagex is infallible on this one, because the first iteration of the Zulrah drop table was interesting, to say the least. Do you guys remember the good old days of noted black dragon hides and like 50 teleports, or it was 20 teleports or whatever?
Teleports are ridiculous.
Yeah. Zulrah was
I don't know. I have pretty good faith in Jagex a lot of the time, and I'm not one to, you know, I'm not one to give them a hard time for their decision making and for their piecemeal development style and for their occasionally going back on things. But like the whole, yes, we will add a Skatizo pet, even though we said no when we released it for a reason. And yes, maybe we'll nerf Zulrah's drop table 2.5 years in, but then at the same time, nope, the Bloodhound stays this stupidly rare because that's the way it's always been. And that's the way it should be. I don't like that anymore. At that point, I'd have a hard time holding my tongue because I think that level of inconsistency is bullshit. Because then the reasons they're saying these things should remain the same does not hold water anymore.
I mean, to me, it just kind of speaks to what this kind of says to me is just like, you know, a small vocal amount of the community can just so easily influence, you know, the direction of this game, right? Because I think this has got to be like a small, very vocal minority of players. Because, okay, let's be real. Other than you AFKing on your Iron Man chase, have any of us fished sharks for any significant period of time?
No.
No. And I mean, the reason is because why would you do that? There are better ways to get food in this game, right? Even if fishing sharks were faster or more viable, dark crabs are still better, right? Like anglers are still more food per hour, right? If you compare anglers versus sharks, you're getting more HP per hour if you were to fish it, right? It's just, I don't know. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Like there's just better things to do. Also, Stefan being in the chat.
Do you have that sound clip?
Oh, I have the soundboard. Do you want me to play it?
Please play it.
All right. And in honor of Stefan being here in the chat. I love the pussy.
Stefan, we're streaming on the RuneScape channel. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wonderful.
Best moment on Twitch.
Yeah, easily one of my favorite moments on Twitch recently. Also, I'm really sorry about all the frame drops we're experiencing. Twitch is just like dying.
Twitch has had up his own asshole these days.
Yeah, I'm getting like 30% frame drops.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I mean, the good thing about that is like they can usually still hear the audio, even when it like buffers and stutters. Yeah, the audio is usually still good. I could try putting it back on Dallas because I think that my connection is better through Dallas.
I don't think you can change that on the fly though, can you? You have to take the stream down.
No, I would have to take the stream down and put it back up.
Here's a crazy idea. Why don't Twitch just fix their fucking site?
Yeah, that's just real. I don't know. That's too crazy. You can't expect people to do shit like that, Rob.
I know. It's impractical.
You're thinking too far outside the box. You're scaring me.
I'm sorry. I was just entertaining the idea, man. Just imagine it for a moment, okay?
Imagine.
We're gonna make history here.
Okay, moving on from all the saltiness that is changing Zulrah's drop table. Can you make it so we can choose the hit points level at which the Ring of Life would activate, maybe as a reward for something? And they just said, yes, we can do that.
Kind of cool.
They seem interested in it. Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it makes hardcore Iron Man a little bit more viable. Because I think there are a lot of players that won't approach hardcore Iron Man just because basically it takes the whole PVM section of the game, which a lot of players find really entertaining, and says, crosses it off the list. Like, nope, you're not really PVMing very much, if at all. I mean, the smart way to play hardcore Iron Man is literally just avoid combat as much as possible.
And that would revitalize its presence on Twitch too, because then people wouldn't be afraid to stream the more interesting content on their hardcores.
Yeah, because a lot of people would get like hit offline while they were at Zelda and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, so much so that people wanted to change the Zelda respawn to like put you outside the arena.
Right.
If you died. Which I was in favor of.
Let's do the same thing with Jad. You respawn outside the arena at Jad, you failed the fight caves. You have to get a new task. Fuck you.
Do you have a respawn at Jad?
With the diaries, you do, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Really?
That's cool.
It's the Karamja
one. Yeah,
right?
with Elite Karamja. If you
You
die,
respawn
you get one
You
rest.
get fucking everything in the game from Elite Karamja.
Yeah, Elite Karamja, the world is your oyster, basically.
The thing is, though, if you're
Every time there's like a
good
new
at the fight cave,
suggestion,
you don't need it ever.
True. The funny thing is, it's just like every time somebody comes out with some new shit, let's put it behind the Karamja diary. Oh well, let's put it behind the Elite Karamja diary. Like fuck. I love that graphic someone made on Reddit. Occasionally, Reddit does funny things. It was the graphic that shows like how much of the actual diary was locked behind Karamja Elite, and it was just like everything. Other than Karamja Shop, just everything is under Karamja Elite. Including that fucking shortcut that they finally took off of it. That was the most ridiculous part to me. The fishing shortcut that was on the Elite Diary.
Oh yeah, the one that lets you fish trout better or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like the
boy.
most early game thing ever,
Yeah.
and it was like on the fucking Elite Diary. Just like why?
Okay, so this
Anyways.
is totally off topic, but the meme about Stefan from the RuneScape stream is great. But did you guys see the video that somebody made, the shooting stars meme with Stefan in it from England?
No,
No.
I haven't seen
It was actually pretty funny. It's just when he and some other streamers were on public transportation, and he just did this weird kind of half squat thing. So it's
Oh
like
no,
this-
I have seen that.
Did you see
I have
that?
seen that. Yes.
I love that video.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yes, I have.
I just
seen
think it's
that.
even funnier because it's like such a minor movement that they used for the shooting stars meme.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, it's good.
yeah, Ring of Life being like actually a useful item. Sure. All right. Here's one that I put on the list purely because like we could have a good laugh and all just like get together and kick the person that said this. Dagonoth task extension, and then Jagex said we kind of already did this because you have Bracelet Slaughter. It's like that's like as much as they're willing to push that one, I guess.
Yeah, that would be
Bracelet
really,
Slaughter's
really,
already
really,
really good.
powerful. Because Dagonoths, you can get assigned almost 200 of them from Duradel.
Yeah, they're already a really big task.
And with the Elite Diary for the Fremennik area, you make bank guaranteed every time you camp them, and there are 3 different pets to be had. So, of course, to me, that sounds awesome. More DKs in a trip, but that's super broken.
Well, the first thing I thought when I saw this is, didn't we just add another fucking Slayer Cave to Dagonoth Kings because it was way too fucking crowded? Like, this would completely undo all that effort they had to get that thing through a poll, because I think that's been pulled like 3 times to get another Dagonoth King layer.
That update was fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of the best updates that I think Slayer actually needed, as opposed to a lot of this other stuff we got. Like Superior Slayer and the fact that they moved all the shit out of Neve's Cave, and there are now 2 Dagonoth rooms. Like, that fixed all the problems I foresee with Slayer for like a really long time, right?
Yeah.
All the other stuff was just fluff that no one cared about, like the drop table changes and whatever. Yeah, no, that's just the first thing that comes to mind when I think of this. Is like, all right, so you want to give people like 300 Dagonoths as a fucking task, so now nobody can use the rooms again? Like, come on.
Yeah, that'd be a bit
Like,
much.
you can already stay in the Dagonoth rooms indefinitely if you prayer flick. Like, if you just prayer flick really hard, you can just stay in those rooms indefinitely if you've got an SGS. That's it. Like, you don't need prayer, you just need an SGS. That's it. So, I don't know.
We need superiors.
People, I mean, the really good players are going to stay there for their whole task, no matter how fucking long the task is. You can make it 1,000 Dagonoths and people wouldn't leave for the whole task. They just be there for 1,000 Dagonoth kills, just taking up the world all day, like 6 hours straight.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be like, that's fucking nothing, dude. Child's play.
He's like 1,000 Dagonoths, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get why somebody asked this, because Dagonoths are a good task and everybody likes to get them. If you enjoy doing DKs, or even if you don't, you just cannon them and it's still a good task. I can understand why, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Rex, bro.
No.
Can you imagine if people still just like, went in the room and just camped Rex? I mean, I know some people still do that, like Iron Men do.
Iron Man do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there actually used to be like a significant portion of actual players that did that.
You know what? I actually had that question a few times. Like, what if I already have the Prime, Pat, somebody was like, "What if you get Supreme? Will you only camp Rex from that point on?" I was just like, "No. Why would I do that? If I'm already down there, and there's already downtime between Rex kills, why would I not kill every one of them and make 3 times as much money?
And save a lot of your time.
Yeah.
I do know that people like think with that logic though. They're like, hey, if I just kill Rex all the time, I'll get more B rings, I'll make more money. It's like, that's not really how that works, but okay.
No.
B rings are dirt cheap.
Yeah, they're really low now because of the additional Slayer ring.
Only like 2.7.
Yep.
It's not even that dirt cheap.
Yeah,
They're still a
compared to
good
what
job.
they were like almost 5 mil.
Yeah,
5?
nearly.
Yeah,
At
they were
one
like
point.
mid 4 mil
The fuck?
for a while there.
I don't remember that. I remember it getting up to 4, I think, but
Well, it used to be more, and then they lowered quite a bit.
jeez.
Like kind of earlier on in this game's lifespan, they were a bit more.
Archer's
All right,
is still
so-
like 4 mil, isn't it?
Yeah, Archers is still a lot because of raids, I think.
Archers is cheap now too.
Is it?
I got an Archer's ring yesterday. It was like 2.7.
Shit.
Garbage.
DK is confirmed terrible. Kappa.
At least
All right,
bones
let's-
still hold their value.
Let's talk about the Inferno rewards thing. So basically, Jagex is going to be hosting like a rewards for the people who get first, second, and third place in defeating the Inferno. They expect only a few players are going to get it over the first couple days, so they want to reward those players. They want to make a big deal out of it. So basically, first place will get an IRL Inferno cape, which is, I can only think, the height of nerddom. They will get their RuneFest tickets and the night before party, the pre-party, and their travel expenses
and
covered.
travel expenses.
That's the big one. Travel expenses is the big one,
Yep.
I think. And they get lifetime membership to RS, which is also pretty sick. Second place, they get their RuneFest pre-party, travel expenses, lifetime membership, and same thing for third place.
No,
So
third place
basically,
doesn't
first
get the
place-
travel expenses.
Oh, they don't get the travel expenses.
Third place is the ticket
Okay.
to the event and lifetime membership.
Lifetime membership. I don't know. Lifetime membership's a big deal, I think.
Oh, that's theoretically a bigger value than like going to RuneFest from
Depends
the
on how
US
long
because
you live.
it's eventually.
Depends
but-
on how long RuneScape lives.
Yeah. But third place is a little bit different as well. They're not the same.
Yeah, sorry, I thought they were the same, but you're correct. They don't get the travel expenses. Still, big deal. It's
Yeah.
a big deal.
You know, it's funny. I was actually driving up to see that apartment today, and I was telling Steve about these prizes because I told him I was going to get up really early and try for it. And he said, "It'd suck if you got fourth place, wouldn't it?"
Oh my god.
Imagine being so
Oh.
good that you get it fourth, but you don't get anything for it.
Oh, that would just be shit.
Yeah.
They'll probably maybe do like some sort of tweet or announcement or just like, hey, these players are real cool. For people who
Well,
get
also,
it in, like the first couple days.
not only are the prizes fucking sick, but think about it from a streamer's perspective. If you are a smaller streamer like myself and you get first through third, you will have like your name will go down in RuneScape history in a way. And then
True,
your stream
true.
will probably blow up for a little while.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think if one of us won it, partnership.
It would make it a
Yeah.
lot easier.
Mm-hmm. You just need 1 or 2, really good months, and then you get partnership. That's pretty much how Twitch works.
Yeah.
Once you're at the point we're at. Yeah, no, this is really exciting, and I'm glad Jagex is doing something like this, and I hope they continue to do things like this in the future because, Jagex is, despite what all the players say, Jagex is really good to their community. Not just like the polling system in old school in general and like, all the feedback they take from the players, but stuff like this, they actually get back to the players quite a bit. I wish they would carry through on it a little bit better sometimes. Like, you remember the instance where the guy did the Monkey Madness thing and he didn't give shit for like a year.
Wait, what?
There was a really big Reddit thread. Basically, there was a design competition for Monkey Madness 2 for the login screen. Guy does the login screen. He was supposed to win some prizes for it. Didn't get him for like a year. Yeah, so sometimes Jagex is not very good on carrying through on the stuff they give out to the community, but at least they do, give a lot of opportunities and stuff like that. So, we also forgot to mention players who tested the Inferno are not eligible.
True.
So this leads us to, I think, some interesting speculation. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think? Who's your top 3? Like, who do you think are going to be the top 3? Your fantasy picks. basically.
I mean, Cloud Badass is probably one of my top 3.
Yeah, he's up there for me too. He's in the top 3. Well, not just Cloud, but Cloud and Zach.
Cloud and Zach,
2 different players.
Yeah.
I think those 2 are definitely in my top 3. I'll just
They
put them
play the same
in one
account.
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know for other ones. I mean,
I
Wooks
think-
is a good pick.
Yeah, Wooks wasn't there, notably.
Right. Yeah,
So
Wooks wasn't
he's,
playtester,
I think
so he
he's in my top
qualifies.
3. And I would say Merrick. Merrick wasn't there either, and he knows a shitload about fight caves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those would be my top 3. Yeah, Wooks, Cloud and Zach, and then Merrick. I think those are my 3.
I give it 2 attempts before Wooks one ticks it with flowers. But yeah,
right.
Wooks, Cloud, and probably Merrick. Yeah.
So the Inferno's coming with a new pet. How you guys feeling about that?
Yes.
Have fun.
I feel like that's as it should be.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm not upset about it, but the pet hunt gets longer again.
I don't know. I want a metamorphosis on the the Jad model where I can change its toenail colors.
Like the one that Sam did, the picture.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
That was good.
That was a good Photoshop. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see what the arena itself looks like because that's going to influence how you deal with the 2 Jads.
I'm excited just to attempt the challenge.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons I still play this game is because there's lots of cool challenging stuff you can do, like perf flicking and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm excited to do combat in the Inferno.
Yeah, I wonder if the drop rate of the pet from this is going to be comparable to the drop rate of Jad. I think it should be, but I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Can you imagine having to sacrifice an Inferno cave every time?
I'd imagine you will.
That's
like
painful.
we'll be able to.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I would
Good
think
point.
it's going to work the same way.
Because
As
I mean,
Jad,
if
but
you're
I'm just
camping
saying,
it for the pet anyway, you're doing multiple capes regardless, so
Yeah,
you may
that's
as
true.
well have
Yeah.
the gamble feature.
I don't know. I'm
otherwise
just
it's
looking.
useless.
I'm looking in
think
my
about that.
eyes. Like I see the Inferno cape as being like a pretty damn valuable item.
Yeah.
Like I think it's going to be more prestigious than players think.
I mean, you're not going to gamble away your first one.
No, of course
I
not.
No,
hope
definitely not. I'm probably not even going to gamble in my second one.
Master clue step that involves use of the Infernal Cape when.
Oh my god. tier beyond master clues. Infernal clues.
Elitist clues.
Mega clues.
Ultra clues. Speaking of clues, can the elite clue drop table be reworked so that it feels like it's actually between a hard and a master drop table? So they said some of the drops are quite bad.
Yep.
They straw polled it, and the number basically they straw polled reducing the number of steps rather than changing the rewards because they're like, well, that would make it better as if you could do them faster. And 90% of players were in favor of less steps for elites.
I like that a lot.
Which I think we've all kind of known for like a long time, right? Elites are shit. Nobody likes doing elites.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can only see this having a positive influence on the game. This is just kind of like a no-brainer. I hope this actually gets pulled. I will vote yes to this so hard.
Same.
The thing I hate the most and want changed the most is with elite clues. Whenever you have a challenge clue, you have to like put in the answer on the clue itself and hand it back.
Yes,
whereas
instead of
other
talking
tier,
to
you
the
just talk to
NPC.
the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Blind
They
Cure.
had that on the Q&A though,
Hate
asking
that.
to make that consistent.
Yep.
They did. And that's what bothers me the most. I'm okay with the shit rewards and the long fucking completion times. I'm okay with that. Just make it not awful in that regard.
Yeah, I would. I mean, like elites go like 12 steps. Like if elites were like fucking like 8 steps, it'd be so different. Because like you get a fucking elite clue, and if you decide to do the elite instead of the master, it's like, all right, time to set aside 45 minutes of my time.
Yeah, it's longer for less reward almost all the time.
Yeah, there's like no point in doing elites unless you want reward. Like you're an Iron Man and you specifically want certain rewards from elites. Like I really want a Fury Ornament kit, so I still do elites.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I think if elite clues are somewhere in the range of like 6 to 8 steps or something like that, because there's always like a range. I think if it was anywhere from 6 to 8 steps, that would be good. So you get 6, 7, or 8 steps. I think that would work.
I want a tier that's easier than easy clues. I don't even want to get a clue scroll. Just hand me a casket on drop.
I want novice clues or like beginner clues, and the only thing on the drop table, firelighters.
God damn it. Well, if they put it on that table, like it would be purple sweets as well. Purple sweets and firelighters. Yeah. Which I'd be okay with that, because that'd be like a way to farm purple sweets. But again, purple sweets are kind of OP, and I don't think Jagex would do that. Just because purple sweets are a little too good if you know how to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in favor though of elite clues being reworked. They need it.
I agree.
Yeah, let's move on. Can we get a peak option for the Monkey Madness 2 tunnels? So like the chinning tunnels that people use. So this is on their list for a future poll, and I think this is good because it's the most annoying fucking thing ever, having to run down that whole hallway and there's somebody at the end, you know, chinning or bursting, barraging, whatever. It's fucking annoying because you have to run all the way out and then try again, or, you know, try and stand near him but not have aggro and world hop, and they always get fucking mad at you. Why are you crashing me? And tears and baby rage. And yeah, it's just really should be changed. So I'm excited for this. I think that's I'm not even gonna do those fucking pieces of content anymore because I'm already done with it. But it's an obvious change to me. It should happen. Yep. Can't wait for players to vote no.
Can't wait for disappointment. Reminds me of doing clues.
We should do a portion of the podcast where we go through like old poll results that obviously should have passed, and get like percentages and just be like, this many players were idiots this week.
I don't know about that. I feel like we spent enough time talking about the poll system and its shortcomings.
The poll changes. Everyone who voted no.
Let's not talk about the poll changes. Just no. It's too much pain and suffering. It always just surprises me though that like there's just some common sense stuff that people vote no to. But I mean, like I guess it's just a psychology thing, right? Like for any given question, like about 20% of people are gonna vote for whatever option without really understanding or caring why they're voting for it. So I mean, the lowest you're ever gonna see. That's why I think the 75% threshold is such a problem. Is like 20% of people are not gonna be informed at all, and they'll just vote for whatever. And I mean, that's like well proven through psychology. Anyways, let's not talk about polling. Let's just move on and agree that peeking in the tunnels is a good idea. All right, drop rates of raids. I want to discuss this with you guys because this came out in the week when we were off. The raids drop rates.
Oh, right.
So I'm gonna pull it up on Twitter here. All right, so basically, Kieran released the exact drop rates of the raids stuff. Right, and it basically works out. And surprisingly, Wooks worked these numbers out like a while ago, and he was really accurate. He was within 1%. On average, you get an item every 700k points. That's pretty much how it works. And the weightings of all the stuff on the table, we kind of already sort of knew because of OS Buddy's data. But basically, there's like it basically rolls, and if you hit on the table, then it rolls on the table, and certain items are more common than other items. Basically, Rigor and Augury are like way more common than anything else on the table, like by a lot, which makes sense because these items are consumable. Every player in the game wants them, basically. So that makes sense. I don't know. Have you guys got a chance to see this? I'm going to put this in the Skype call if you guys haven't got a chance to look at it yet. If you haven't already seen this.
I have looked at it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to me that I mean, I guess we've just kind of been asking for this for a while, and we basically already knew the information that was in it. That's the part that blows my mind the most, is how Wooks was within 1% of guessing how many points you needed for an item. Like, that just blows my mind.
Oh yeah, put it in chat, Nigel. Put the link in chat.
Oh yeah, I'll put the link in chat. Sorry, I'm an idiot. There you go, guys. I think it works out to like on average, let's say you get like 18,000 points a raid, like 20,000 points a raid. I think it works out to like high 30s, like about like 36, 37 raids or something like that for you to get an item in your name. Something like that. I'm not 100% on those numbers, but yeah, it takes a little bit less time than I thought it would. And that's just because they improved the drop rates significantly from when it initially came out. I think when it initially came out, we worked out the numbers, and it was something like like nearly like 100 raids to get an item in your name. Yeah, and raids were also a lot more annoying then because of, you know, how like farming Buchus and shit worked. There was no storage. Yeah, I'm glad raids got all the changes because it really needed it. Now pet hunters like Chase don't have to experience the awfulness of day one raids because they were bad.
Yeah, they were. That's why I haven't been back, because it really just left a bad taste in my mouth. I know I need to, because it makes fucking mad money if you do it right, and they have made it a lot better. And I need the pet, but I'm still reluctant.
Yeah, I don't know, but looking at this table, is there anything that like jumps out to you guys that you're like, why is this as rare as it is? I don't know. For me, I'm surprised at. I'm surprised at the fact that like Dragon Hunter crossbow is not like on the same tier as D-Claws. Like the Dragon Hunter crossbow buckler and D-Claws to me are kind of like the same in the level of usefulness, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I get, or like in terms of power, I guess like they're all pretty good for a few things. But D-Claws is actually on par with Ancestral. It's more rare than a lot of other stuff on the table.
Yeah.
I assumed it was probably going to be like, I assumed it was probably going to be about the same as like maybe like D-Swords. Like I assumed D-Swords and like D-Claws would be pretty much the same, and like Bulwark, Dragon Hunter crossbow buckler, they were all in the thing. But no, there's actually like, there's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 6 different tiers of weights on the table. I don't know how much it matters, difference between 2 and 3 weight on the table, but I don't know. It's just interesting that they put this much granularity into the drop table. This also makes it really, looking at this table, it makes it really daunting to ever think you're going to get all the items on your Iron Man. I think, which is like one of my biggest goals in the game was I want every item on my Iron Man. I just look at that table and I'm like, yeah, it's never going to fucking happen.
Probably not.
I don't know. Like, I has anyone worked out the time to get like the expected time to get every raid drop in your name? If somebody in the chat could tell me if you know, I don't expect either of you guys to know, but
nope.
If anyone in the chat knows, let me know, because I assume it's probably like a retarded amount, like higher than the Bloodhound. Bloodhound's like what, like 4,000 expected hours?
I don't think it's that high, but it's a lot.
2,000.
Yeah, 2,000.
Okay.
It's more than
I thought it was
maxing.
like mid 3,000s or something, but yeah, it's a lot. It's too much. Your children can complete the items once you're gone.
They're gonna inherit your RuneScape account and need to keep raiding.
Yeah. Oh, Jagex will ban him for account sharing, dude. Oh, that's an interesting question. If you were to die, who would you pass your RuneScape account on to?
That's not something I've ever thought of.
All right, you're thinking of it now.
I'd
probably just pass it to one of you guys. Like somebody close in game that I know.
Yeah. That was a good question. Like, none of my real life friends would be right, because
yeah, exactly.
Most of them don't play.
None of my real life friends really play.
None of them really play. Yeah, they wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say
I'd give
either
it to Shane.
Yeah, I was gonna say either you, Rob, or Shane, probably.
Yeah, Shane already handles like 1 million accounts. What's
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
He'll be like, okay, this month I'm gonna play Nigel's account. This month I'm gonna play Rob's account. This month I'm gonna play Chase's account, and then I'm gonna go to court because I probably killed them all, and I'm in trouble.
All right. So, last question from the Q&A. Can we see a buff to the Ents drop table? And they just said maybe. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, haven't we already got like multiple buffs to Ents at this point?
Yes.
But no one does them still.
True.
If they were going to be viable, they would be viable, is the way I see it.
Yeah.
I just don't think people would cut for money. I just don't think that's something people really do. Like, how much are redwood logs? Because that's probably like...
Is it like 700, something like that?
Yeah, like that's one of the few logs I think people are actually like cutting and banking. Because like when people cut teaks and stuff like that, they just drop them.
Yep.
So I don't know. How good would Ents have to be for people to stop asking for them to be buffed?
A lot more.
I don't know. Like I think a friend put out a video on Wilderness Ents like right when they came out, or right after they got buffed, I should say. And they were like 800k an hour or something like that, weren't they? They weren't like totally garbage.
I don't know.
I don't know. How much GP an hour do you guys think Ents would have to be to like actually make them a viable form of content?
I want Ents to be the Zulrah of woodcutting.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? So wait, you're telling me like you want Ents to be like over $1 million an hour?
He wants Ents to drop snakeskin.
Oh my god. He's thinking about it now.
And noted sharks.
He's thinking about it. Okay, like if Ents were like $1 million an hour, oh man, I think the wild would be active as fuck.
Yeah.
You can get them assigned to the Slayer task now, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can.
I have to kind of agree with Ahamol in the chat here. People don't woodcut for money the same reason you don't fish for money. True. It's very true. I mean, because it's like one of the main reasons I think people did it before was fire making, because it's a way to train fire making. So like people would buy the logs and then fire make them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But now like really the only use for logs because of Wintertod is for fletching, right? Fletching and alking. I think woodcutting's probably just gotten like massively worse as of the Wintertod update, right?
It's okay.
Like it wasn't even
devalued.
good before. Yeah, devalued, sure, because that's actually what happened in this instance. I think, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, right? Is that fire making was already useless, and the reason people bought into it is because they want to max their account. Yeah, I don't know. There's like wood cutting and isn't weird. It's a weird skill now. It's like infinitely less useful than fishing. I see, is the way I see it. Because like food is actually good for something that people really do in this game. Whereas like the logs you cut, people don't even fletch that way anymore. They make fucking darts. Everyone makes darts now because it's faster, or they make broadhead arrows or whatever. I don't know, man. How can you fix wood cutting? How do you fix it?
Wood cutting.
I don't think Ents is the right answer. Unless I don't know. I don't think people bought Ents, but people would bought Ents if they were worth buying, right? And people bought green dragons and shit. So
do we? I think the question isn't how would you fix wood cutting. Is do we really need to?
Yeah, I guess that's maybe a better question. All right, let's start there. Do you guys think, because to me this ties in with Ents, I guess, because Ents are so closely connected to wood cutting. Do you think wood cutting needs fixed?
Yes.
No.
I'm of the mindset of skilling doesn't necessarily have to be profitable. I
don't think it has to be profitable, but I think there should be a reason to do it.
I don't think there's an outlet to make woodcutting profitable, is my point. Because like fletching just isn't good enough, period. Like there's only so much demand, right? Unless we just crazily buff the speed at which you can woodcut. But even then that devalues prices. I just don't see, I don't think there's a need because I don't think there's a way you can fix it. Right.
I want chainsaws.
Rune chainsaw.
I want chainsaws that run on the logs that you cut with them, so you never have to stop.
I'm sure you can make that happen.
Infinite.
Like build a furnace and do it with a smoldering stone.
More birds' nests? Yeah, maybe that's one way. More indirect profit from woodcutting. Yeah, I think if they just added more like usefulness for wood in the game, I can't do much with my wood in game. He says with a straight face. Yeah, I think Ents are just kind of like, just fucking stop with Ents. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. I mean, we could make it matter, but like, what are we, for what reason, for what purpose are we making it matter? I don't see the point of making updates if like there's not a reason to make them,
Yeah.
It has to benefit someone.
Yeah, chainsaw to make your own planks. Bank stand to make your planks for free.
Yes, please. The only people I can think that this would actually benefit is like maybe like Iron Man. With you could go and get all the noted wood or whatever.
No.
Yeah, I mean, even then it's like, well, I got Kingdom, so.
Yeah, you have Kingdom for all your maples, all your construction, at least a reasonable amounts, as long as you're not going for
until
99.
you get onto like Zulrah and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then
it gets you where you want to be.
Yes, there's no need for Ents whatsoever.
I just don't.
Never killed a single one.
Let's put it this way: there's a reason I didn't start training woodcutting until I was like 2100 total. I had 73 woodcutting for like the longest time.
Mate.
I had the Bodhi number as my woodcutting level for just so long because it's useless. Like even fire making, I think is more useful because at least you need that for a master clue step, I mean, technically, yeah, I guess you would for a master clue step as well, but I don't think there's a way you can fix woodcutting. I think woodcutting's just shit, and it's gonna stay shit.
Not without a revamp of how stuff works.
Smithing. All right, let's not get into that. I still remember the day I ruined the smithing skill for Rob.
Yeah.
And me.
He was just like, wow.
I had never thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't either. That day we were just like, wow, fuck this game.
I mean, when you get down to it, RuneScape's a really weird game. There's no game quite like RuneScape, but some things about it for that reason are also make no sense.
It's a garbage game.
I hear only weeaboos play this game. Accurate. All right. Let's get some questions from you guys. If you guys got any questions for us, let us know in the chat, and we'll answer them. So this can be about anything, RS, not RS. If
we already have one from Wes. He says, "Is there a gay fanfic of you guys?" Not yet, but you're probably gonna write one. If you're asking that.
Someone's gonna put it on their live journal.
Good night, Rab. Sleep well, bud.
I'm so tired.
Good morning, Rab. How was your sleep?
Not long enough.
Riley says, "What ruined smithing? Nothing ruined smithing. Smithing's just a flawed skill from the outset. Like think about it.
Ruined it.
You need level 99 smithing to make level 40 gear.
Yep.
It just makes no sense as a premise. And obviously, you could rework it, right? But you'd have to change all the alchemy values of like every item in the game. You'd have to rework mining completely. You could make smithing make sense, but you'd have to totally overhaul like the entire game, basically. Which is what RS3 has decided to do all these years later. They've decided to entirely rework mining and smithing. And I don't see it ever happening in old school. But yeah, smithing as a skill just doesn't make sense. That's basically the explanation.
You're welcome, Wes.
All right, this is a weed-free zone. I agree.
If you could drink any potion in an old school, what would you drink and how would it taste?
Overload. It would taste like power.
That's what you drink when you want to have sex all night long without stopping.
Well, for 5 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah. Twice as long as usual.
In there. No, wait. You get 4 doses, so it's 5 times 4.
Oh, boy.
20.
I want to drink a prayer potion. I think it just has a nice color. I bet it would taste nice. I don't know. It looks...
Tastes like blueberries.
Sure.
I was going to say blue Gatorade.
No, tastes just like blue Gatorade.
Oh, right. Stamina pot would be for sex. My bad. Right.
That's only 2 minutes.
You get multiple doses. Come on.
So it's 8 for one potion.
No. Like Rob, you efficiency this out, right? Your stamina's draining. Your energy's lower. You chug the stamp pot. You're good.
Also, don't forget you can hold 28 of them in your reasonably sized backpack or pockets that you definitely have on.
You're having sex.
That you definitely have on while you're having. It's called a fanny pack, all right?
Chase is just, he's just getting it from behind and he's wearing the backpack. It's a normal evening for Chase.
I can almost promise you that if you're wearing a fanny pack, you're not getting laid, so never mind.
It's a satchel, okay?
It's a hands-free belt satchel.
Oh, man.
All right, so answer the question, Rob. What potion would you drink, and how would it taste?
I'm trying to think about it. Probably the Kadabra potion that Juliet took, because then it's like dying.
You just sleep for a while.
Yeah, that sounds.
It's like
nice.
a coma.
Rob's like, that's the one I think tastes the most like lean. Rob's like, I just want to get really high and have a near-death experience.
No, he's tired. He just wants to go to bed for like a week.
For like a long time.
Yeah.
No, what about that dream potion? That shit would be trippy.
Mm.
The one for Leonard Diplomacy. Although you don't, do you actually drink that? I think you put it on the fire, right?
Oh, it's the fumes, right?
Yeah.
You legit get fucking high.
So you're huffing it.
Yeah.
You enter your own dream. It's pretty fucking weird.
Geber has a real question about RuneScape. What's the point of mining Todd when Motherlode Mine exists? Like, how do we feel about mining Todd on Fossil Island?
I feel like it fills a different niche, whereas it's like mining Todd is not AFK, despite the name that people apply to it, right? It's supposed to be a high interactivity, but then again, they say that about Winter Todd when it came out, and as we all know, Winter Todd's pretty fucking chill. They said that about Zaya when it came out, and Zaya ended up being pretty chill. So the idea is supposed to be it's a high intensity activity that gives a good amount of XP, not the best XP, but a good amount of XP, with also little to no reward.
And there's supposed to be an emphasis on the team aspect of it, like interacting properly with the team. But also, they also have the benefit of hindsight when it comes to Winter Todd and Zaya, so they should be able to stick a bit closer to what they're saying it's going to be this time around.
I don't see the point in people complaining about it. Like, if you don't want mining Todd, don't do mining Todd.
That's how I feel.
You want to go to Motherlode? Well, looky there. You can go to Motherlode.
Well, think about how much time they spent developing it. Obviously, that time could have been spent elsewhere. So I think it's
really
reasonable.
care.
That mentality is. I agree. It's kind of silly.
Do you just lay in bed at night and just stare at the ceiling, thinking, "Fuck, their dev time is being wasted"? Like, does it keep you up at night? Does it really impact your life that much that you need to make a Reddit post complaining about it?
If you care about that to that point, take off the fanny pack and chill out.
Yeah, dude, you need a fucking dream potion, man.
Okay, no, but for real though, we've talked about this previously. Like, we talked about if they hadn't spent so much time on specific Slayer updates, what else would we might have, had in this game? Like, we could have better skilling, or we could have, better PVM monsters, or more raids, or whatever.
You can't live your life in what ifs, Nigel.
No, you can't. But it is an interesting question.
We can't have better skilling content.
It's skilling, right?
Everyone and their mother fucking riots if we have any change to skilling content.
Well,
yeah, I think it's
everyone and their mother being high efficiency nerds and people on Reddit.
Yes.
So that's like the entire community, according to Jagex, because that's all
the entire community that pushes for changes in this game.
Yeah.
Or in this case, no changes. It's a really loud vocal portion of the community. Like, they are very ready to push their ideas on Jagex about what they think the direction the game should go. What I think is I think the biggest argument against the mining Todd thing, if you want to call it that, the biggest argument I think is against it is, like, it fills a niche that we don't really need. Because people think this niche is filled appropriately with other pieces of content, and that I can sort of agree with, but at the same time, Jagex thinks it's worth developing. The players have agreed that they want it developed. Sorry. Who pissed in your Cheerios,
I'm okay with it.
So Rob is frozen, or not quite.
No, he's just
What did you just
staring.
look at, Rob?
Jack fucking retweeted a thing.
A thing?
Someone microwaved a turtle.
Oh, I think that's been on the internet for like a while. It's
Good
really
Lord.
fucked up.
Is he in
Yep.
jail now?
It's fucked up.
Fucking hopes. Who microwaves a turtle? It's like in a bowl and like fucking one caption, and he's got like the Snapchat thing on. It says, "Oh, putting my turtle in the microwave." And then the second photo is like the turtle all fucking dried out and shriveled up.
Sociopaths, that's who.
Serial killers.
People who are gonna, people who are gonna grow up to be serial killers. All right. Back on the topic of RS, Barack says, "How do you plan on tackling the Inferno in your first couple of runs?" Not sure if you guys have already talked about this.
It's a good question.
For me, I'm gonna start out basically the same as I would start, a fire cape, but with one extra combat style. So I think I'm gonna have a ranged mage hybrid is what I'm gonna go with. Just because that it gives me blood spells and I can heal that way.
I would do like a combination of how you gear for the fight cave and raids. So I would make sure to have a lot of
something in that
brews and
ballpark.
stuff, but make sure that you have a lot of gear switches too, so you can adapt to all the trial and error stuff that you're going to be facing. And like Nigel said, Ancients for the Blood Barrage sounds wonderful. I'm also hoping that ice spells count towards these creatures' weakness, because I said that water spells will be good against them because they're made of lava. I don't know if ice spells will also do that.
Yeah, if ice spells are good, then Ancients is the way to go, I
Yeah.
think. So yeah, basically I'm
And,
just gonna approach it from hybrid.
Other than that, yeah, just I guess try to adapt as quickly as possible and like pay attention to everything to see, make sure that you're paying attention to which prayers are blocking which attacks from which enemies, because the trial and error aspect is going to be pivotal in deciding who completes it first.
Absolutely. How about you, Rob? What's your ideas on how you're gonna tackle Inferno?
I'm going to try not to die.
Mm.
That's about as far as my planning has gone.
Smart. Also,
It's a good plan.
it's worth pointing out, we live in the US. This game is developed in the UK, and if it comes out on time, it's going to be at about 6 a.m. for us, Rob and I, and 5 a.m. for Nigel. So
Yep.
one of the first step for
I
me
get
is
off
to
work
set
at
an alarm.
7, so
Right, you won't be around for it, but my first
if you
step
guys
is
want to
set
give
an
me
alarm.
any tips, you guys can just like text me and be like, "Hey, dude," I would greatly appreciate it.
Oh, you think I'm going to be awake at 5 o'clock in the morning? That's
I know Chase is.
I'm setting an alarm for 6. It's not gonna.
Chase will be awake.
I won't. I don't know. I mean, like, if the only way I'll be awake is if I'm running on pure excitement. But
I
I
would not take.
I think
Void.
there's a 70% chance I'm going to sleep through that alarm. Void, hell no. You need more defensive bonuses than Void.
Yeah.
All right, we got something. Got something else in the chat. I'm looking through. Don't really see anything else.
It costs a fire cape for all future attempts, Ben. You
Yeah,
sacrifice
it's just
one fire cape.
fire cape to just unlock it.
Yeah, just one fire cape, and you get into that part of the city.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I think that covers it. I enjoyed the podcast today.
Yep.
Hope you guys did too.
Oh, are we done?
Yeah, we're ramping it up.
It's been like
Okay.
Almost
Do we
2.5
want
hours.
our?
oh right, we need
sign
our
off?
we need our sign off.
We need our sign off.
Oh boy.
What do you got in mind this time, Rob?
It's not as good as the other ones were, but I think it'll do for
I don't
today.
think
Good
good
is
is
a
the right word.
relative
Yeah, I don't
term.
think good's the right word.
They were great, and you know it.
They were funny. They were horrible though.
All right,
all right.
Rob.
Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Mr. Potato Head.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Aww.
What
My
about
childhood
all of our
revolution.
childhoods?
I guess we're fuck marrying and killing our childhood.
Yeah.
I feel like a manic depressive.
I feel like a sociopath. They're toys, and none of them are female either. Which,
Yeah, that's the worst part.
I mean, if it was female toys, I'd be a little bit less of a. No, that's true. That's not true.
No
I'd
bo
be
peep,
I'd
man.
be the exact same amount of sociopath Never mind. It wouldn't be any better.
This is just Rob.
Rob, why you do this?
We're gonna have to take these privileges away from him.
Do you have any backup options?
Nope. This is it for the week.
Fuck you.
All right.
I am not an option.
I guess I'll bite the bullet here.
All right. I think I actually have an answer.
Mr. Potato Head is not like humanoid, so I guess he gets fucked, right? I don't know if that makes it more or less weird. I don't know. No, I don't think anything makes this more or less weird, right? we're gonna kill Buzz Lightyear because he's an arrogant bastard, and well, let's just say there's a snake in my boot.
All right.
Yeah, that's my answer.
I'm gonna fuck Woody because it's a missed opportunity because of his name. If I don't,
Fair point.
I'm going to marry Buzz Lightyear. No, actually, hang on. Change my mind. I'm gonna kill Buzz Lightyear because yeah, you're right. He's an arrogant bastard, and I'm gonna marry Mr. Potato Head because
Okay.
he can be disassembled, and I can swap out parts with Mrs. Potato Head.
Oh. Okay.
Which is
Yo, that's a
only
good answer.
slightly
That
improved.
makes my answer a little less weird,
Yeah.
actually.
It shows that I thought about this a bit too much already.
But
Like
at
more
that
than 2
point, you're
seconds.
just boning Mrs. Potato Head. Like you got to keep some part of him, Mr. Potato.
We've already
Head.
agreed that you don't have to have a physical relationship if you're married to somebody in past weeks.
Yes, we have established this.
True.
Which is why who you're marrying essentially doesn't matter. We've confirmed this.
I'm boning Mr. Potato Head.
Me and Rob are on the same page.
Because like with all like his attachments and toys and shit that like you can just stick anywhere, he's likely to have like a fleshlight attachment.
Rob.
No, he's not.
It's a possibility.
It's a kid's
It's
toy.
possibility.
There's no flashlight.
It could happen. I'll make one for him. It's okay. So he's getting boned.
I think Rob's been thinking about this all week.
I looked these up like right after we start the podcast. That's what I spent like the first half an hour doing. Just finding out what the fuck we're gonna do. I would kill Woody because Woody
Okay.
he's a neurotic basket case, and I would marry Buzz because I feel like he would be very reliable,
He's
and
gonna
he's
take
an
you to
astronaut.
infinity and beyond.
Yeah, man, he'll be there with me, and he's got that sick ass like fucking wrist laser thing, man. Can blind my enemies.
It's just a little light. It's a toy.
He falls in style, Chase.
I can do that too.
Not in style.
I can
Jesus
fall in
Christ.
style.
No.
Yes, I could.
Nope.
Speaking of falling in style, thank you for joining us this week, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and host someone. I don't know who we're gonna host, but that is the end of the podcast. Thank you so very much for being part of it today, guys. Other announcements, if I get time next week, I will try to stream, but my 2 days I have off next week, I'm gonna be doing something. If I get a third day off, you can expect to stream then. So yeah, that's it for me. You guys have any announcements?
No, not really.
I'm
Well,
going to bed.
If I sleep well enough tonight, I'm doing a 12-hour stream tomorrow.
Lucas has one more question. Sure.
I know what it's going to be.
It's gonna be Shark Pee.
Yeah, it is.
Great.
And whether or not we will introduce him to her.
I want to hear it though.
Well,
Also, we'll listen to
read
Sweet
it.
Song. We'll listen to Regulate by Warren G. Old school.
All right. I'm going to turn off the recording. Goodbye, guys.
All right.